Imagine walking into a massive BPO, or Business Process Outsourcing building, right in the heart of Bonifacio Global City. You step into the elevator, and you notice right away that every single floor operates like its own highly secure, completely isolated company. The fifth floor might be handling highly sensitive healthcare records for a hospital, while the sixth floor is processing credit card transactions for a massive bank. A floor manager on that fifth floor has absolute, unquestioned control over who gets onto their floor, exactly what tools their agents use, and how the desks are arranged. But that same manager's badge? It won't even let them step off the elevator onto the sixth floor. They don't have the master keys to the whole building. They just have absolute authority over their specific domain. Well, in the world of Microsoft Security Copilot, workspaces operate exactly like those independent BPO floors. They are totally isolated environments with independent rules and specific agents. When we configure workspace access, we're essentially acting as the building administrator. We're deciding who gets to be the floor manager and who gets to be an agent on that specific floor. This is a massive concept for cloud security engineering because it ensures the right people have the exact permissions they need to use features and manage settings without bleeding over into other isolated areas.
Section 1. Workspace Role Scope. Let's look at how this breaks down.
Let's translate our BPO analogy directly into Microsoft's technical terminology. Within any given workspace, you basically have two primary roles, the owner and the contributor. The owner is our floor manager. They configure the workspace settings, they manage roles, enable plugins, deploy agents, and manage the overall capacity. They run the administrative side of that specific workspace with full authority. The contributor, on the other hand, is our frontline agent. They're the ones actively using the Security Copilot features, submitting prompts, running prompt books, and viewing the session history. They execute the day-to-day security work, but they absolutely do not have the administrative power to change how the workspace itself operates.
Now you might be wondering, why is this model so absolutely crucial for security? It's all about workspace-specific delegation. A SOC director can be assigned as the owner of the SOC workspace, giving them the power to manage it totally independently. But they do not automatically get access to the compliance workspace or the sandbox workspace. It means we can empower team leaders to manage their own environments without handing them the keys to the entire kingdom. No tenant-wide administrative access required. We are maintaining strict lease privilege.
Section 2. Assign workspace roles.
So how do we actually hand out these badges in the real world? The procedure for assigning either an owner or a contributor is surprisingly straightforward. First, you navigate to Security Copilot. And this is the most important part. You have to switch to your target workspace. You literally have to be on the specific floor you want to manage. From there, just open the Home menu, hit Owner Settings, choose Add Role Assignment, pick your identity type, search for the identity, and simply click Add.
This brilliantly illustrates how a large organization, let's call them Contoso, structures this. Notice how the individual SOC director owns the SOC workspace, while the compliance manager completely separately owns the compliance EU workspace. They exclusively govern their own areas. But take a look at the contributors, the frontline agents doing the actual work. Contoso isn't assigning individual names there. They're using groups like SOC analysts and compliance team.
And that brings us to a highly recommended practice. Using groups for contributor assignments dramatically simplifies your administration. From a security engineering perspective, you do not want to be manually updating workspace permissions every single time a new analyst is hired or someone transfers between departments. It's a headache. By assigning a group to the contributor role, adding a new employee to that Microsoft Entra group automatically grants them the workspace access they need. Now, if you're preparing for the SC-500 exam, definitely flag this operational detail. When a user is added as an owner or a contributor, it doesn't happen instantaneously. It can actually take up to 5 minutes for that new workspace to appear in their list in the portal. 5 minutes can feel like an absolute eternity when you've got an eager analyst sitting there waiting to work, so keep that propagation time in the back of your mind for troubleshooting.
Section 3. Configure Owner Settings.
Once an owner is assigned to their workspace, they have some big decisions to make about how their floor operates. There are 4 main behaviors controlled by owner settings: capacity management, data sharing preferences, file upload permissions, and audit logging. Let's break down what each of these means.
First up, capacity management. This is essentially how the owner controls the computing power allocated specifically to their workspace. Think of it as deciding exactly how much electricity and how many computers your BPO floor is allowed to consume. The owner can view the current capacity, adjust the provisioned secure compute units, or SCUs, and handle overage allowances. And remember, any capacity changes made here apply only to this current workspace. Next, we have data sharing and file uploads. Data sharing preferences determine if your workspace contributes its prompt and response data back to Microsoft to help improve the service. Because this is totally workspace specific, a security architect might opt their experimental sandbox into data sharing, while the SOC director completely opts out their production workspace to maintain absolute privacy. File upload permissions let the owner decide who can actually upload files to be used as knowledge sources. The SOC workspace might allow all contributors to upload threat intelligence reports, while a highly sensitive compliance workspace restricts file uploads strictly to owners only.
Okay, pay super close attention to this next point, especially for the SC-500 exam. We've established that owner settings are workspace specific, right? But there's exactly one exception to that rule: audit logging. Audit logging enables the logging of Security Copilot activities to Microsoft Purview. Unlike capacity or file uploads, audit logging applies tenant-wide across all workspaces in the entire organization. Because it affects the whole building, an individual workspace owner cannot change this setting. It strictly requires a central security administrator.
Section 4. Workspace Plugin Settings.
A workspace is really only as good as the data it can actually analyze. Going back to our BPO analogy for a second, if a workspace is the isolated floor, plugins are the specific software applications the agents are actually allowed to open on their computers. Plugin configuration determines exactly which data sources and services Security Copilot is permitted to access within that specific workspace. This is a massively vital security control. We only want our AI accessing the data it absolutely needs for its specific mission.
Enabling these is incredibly simple for an owner. You just switch to your workspace, select Sources right there from the prompt bar, hit Manage Plugins, and just toggle on the specific tools that are relevant to your team. And again, keeping with our theme, these plugin decisions apply only to the current workspace. Enabling a plugin in the SOC doesn't automatically enable it anywhere else. The SOC workspace might toggle on Defender, XDR, and Microsoft Sentinel for deep threat hunting. Meanwhile, the compliance workspace has those turned completely off and instead enables Microsoft Purview and Microsoft Entra to monitor identity risks. Every single floor gets exactly the tools it needs and nothing more.
So your workspaces are isolated. The owners are empowered. Contributors are grouped efficiently, and the plugins are securely locked down. The building is secure and ready for business. But now that the environment is perfectly built, how do you route your automated security agents to the right floor?